Hi, this is Courtney
And Brandon.
from Ruby Red Farm, and we wanted to take a moment to reintroduce ourselves. If you're meeting us for the first time, welcome. If you've known us for a while, you might learn something new. We wanted to go through and just kind of talk about how on earth we became Ruby Red Farm. We come from very much non-farming backgrounds, and so it was a bit of a big turn to get to farming. And so we really started both going to high school here in Centerville. So we're both Centerville High School graduates. For me, I graduated in 2008, ended up going off to college. I was a college athlete, did track and field, then came back after we were married, went to graduate school, and became a physical therapist. And so I've been a physical therapist for 8 years now in the outpatient setting. And that really is where this whole story found me when we started getting interest in farming.
So yeah, my background is not too undifferent from Courtney's. I graduated from '07 from Centerville, went off to college, worked through college. I'm currently a project engineer, graduated college with a mechanical engineering technology degree. So got a little bit more of a background on the farm than Courtney does. You know, we had cattle growing up. It's been a little bit of adjustment to get into the homesteading, farming, so to speak, lifestyle. But yeah.
So we got married in 2012. I finished grad school in 2015, and that let us move eventually in 2017 back to Centerville. So at this point, we had a 1-year-old. We thought, you know what sounds fun? Let's buy a 200-year-old house that needs everything redone on it.
Because that makes sense.
You know. So we lived in a camper. Thank you to my parents for letting us borrow theirs. We lived in a camper for about 6 or 7 months in our driveway with that 1-year-old who learned how to walk. Her first steps were in that camper. And gutted this entire house. It's a wonderful 200-year-old home, but it was a 200-year-old home. So when we say we renovated it, we didn't just remove the floors, we removed the floor joists. We had to start from scratch. All new everything. It's been very much a labor of love. We spent, I would say, about 3 years?
I mean, it's still not done.
Well, yeah, it's never going to have trim, but we spent about
Eventually.
3 years heavily renovating it.
Yeah.
Getting all the systems in place, getting the majority of the big projects done. And at about that time, we kind of looked around and realized we're missing out here. We bought this house because we've always kind of on the back burner, both have said, you know what would be fun is if we bought a house in the country, fixed it up, and started farming. And it's always been kind of this pipe dream for us. And I don't know where that even stemmed from, because again, I had never had anything beyond a cat or a dog. But we got to this point where the house was winding down on renovations, and we realized we're wasting the 10 acres that came with this place. And so that's where 2020 happens, right? I think a lot of people's stories take a turn in 2020. Ours take a turn, though, for a different reason.
Yeah, I mean, at the time I was deployed, and of course, you know, COVID kicked off everything, so that made things a little bit trickier. But while overseas, I got had a lot of free time, we'll say, to do some research on chickens and what it really looks like to start a homestead. Sorry, our two kids are playing in the background, so you're probably going to hear some crazy. But anyway. Yeah, and at that time frame, got to do a lot of research on chickens, and you know, what do we want this to look like? And you know, we started off really with 25 birds, 25 chickens.
Yeah, we bought 25 chickens,
and then quickly it went from 25 chickens to we have 4 pigs, to now we have.
And they got, I think, 100 chickens.
I think, 50 to 100 more.
The 25 was already crazy. Just so you know. It was already total curveball. Who on earth gets 25 chickens to start with? We kind of just dove in. But we loved it. Every little bit that we took, every bite we took, we loved it more. And we just started getting hooked. And so a lot of that came, though, from educating ourselves and exposing ourselves to other people's farms. And most of that was through YouTube and different books.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, she mentioned YouTube. You know, the thing that really kind of got me started down this path, you know, surprisingly, is a YouTube channel called Butcher Brothers, or sorry, Bearded Butchers. Um, I don't know why, but that kind of stemmed my interest into getting back into farming. Courtney got into Melissa K. Norris, and then Justin Rhodes, and of course, Joel Salatin, and some of those guys.
Yeah, we really, for me, it was starting a garden. I'd seen a lot of these, how to make a garden work with 10 by 10 space. And I'm thinking, I have 10 acres. What am I doing? Why am I spending so much money at the grocery store when I could put out a garden? So it started with, I would say, probably about 1/8 of an acre. I put in this garden. We had the pigs at this point. The pigs actually were our plow. We put the pigs out. We'll hopefully have some pictures here of them plowing up the grass that had just been mown for years and years and years. This always was a farm until about, I'd say, 40 years ago, it stopped being one. And we finally were able to bring this place back to what it was supposed to be. So we have a friend. So the pigs came in. They plowed the ground for us. That was the initial push. We started our garden there. And Ruby Red Farm really stemmed from that garden in a lot of ways because it became, well, we could sell the extras. So we ended up in 2021 growing again that quarter, maybe 1/8 of an acre garden.
Yep.
I sold a handful of tomatoes to curious people who'd stop by. We came up with the name, we came up with the logo. It was all just us, and it still is just us, but we really just thought, this is kind of fun. We're enjoying this, and I think we might even be able eventually to make some money off of this. And so it really grew very, very quickly. So again, we went from 25 chickens to 75 to 100 to, I would say, by spring of 2022 is when we kind of went off the deep end.
Yeah. Let's see. Last year, we ended up with 100 and some meat birds to start. We started with 50. And then we added another 50 after that batch was done, and then we added 100. That whole chicken math thing, right? Mm-hmm. But then, as far as going off the deep end, we ended up with somewhere in the neighborhood of around 20 pigs running through here last year, which we went from 4 pigs, remember, to 20 in a very quick fashion. Now, this year we toned that back a little bit and went to 5 pigs, which worked out great because now we're cleared out for the winter. We'll probably get hogs again in the spring, and then we'll feed them out throughout the rest of the year.
Yep. We ended up last year we ended up with probably all in about 300 meat chickens, which are Cornish crosses. Those ended up going to the farmers market, which was also new for us last year. So in 2022, we got a daily pass, which is where you just tell them that each week whether you're coming or not. We thought, well, we'll just see. We'll see if anybody's interested in buying a few zucchinis and some chickens off of us. We figured out what it took. It was a lot of permitting, a huge learning curve when it came to all of that. Yep. Hours and hours on the computer reading Indiana state law that I didn't even know existed. So once we got underway, that was the hardest part by far. And so they tell people all the time when it comes to homesteading, just start. Well, that's the hardest step in a lot of ways. So we started, we got to the market. It was a huge success. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. We sold out of most of our meat relatively quickly, realized, oh my goodness, if we're going to do this thing, we got to really invest a little bit more. So we kind of kept that up through the winter. So once winter market was winding down, we realized, okay, we caught the bug. We love this. And so we let them know we wanted to be a season pass holder. And so this summer was really the first summer we've been able to just really dive in. We ended up, right now I'd say we have about 200 to 250 laying hens. We had roughly 400 meat birds. We still have a handful that we're finishing out this fall. We ended up this year having a huge opportunity where a farmer approached us asking if we wanted to sell his beef. We were very grateful for this man. He liked what we were doing, and he lives about a mile from us, and asked if we'd be interested in partnering with him with his locally raised beef, and we're able to bring beef cuts to you guys now. So everything, it's one of those funny things where I personally think when you're going down the wrong path, you just hit obstacle after obstacle. we've not really hit that many obstacles. It's just felt like this has been what we're supposed to be doing.
So yeah, I mean the obstacles aspect. Every farm has its good years and its down years. And we, in the short time we've done this, I wouldn't say years, obviously, but as far as good times and bad times, we definitely had some bad times. That first batch of pigs, out of 4, we lost 1, and we really thought we were screwing up something, and we still have really no idea what it was, but it was pretty close to being finished, and we lost it. It happens.
And it happens.
And then this year, we still not 100% sure what happened, but we lost 20 turkeys. We lost all of our turkeys in one night.
Yeah, we've learned so much every year. We've really, I think the hard moments have made it that much more worth it, in the sense that it is fulfilling. It's very fulfilling work. It's very hard work. You don't really get that many days off when it comes to this. I joke all the time that I still hesitate to call myself a farmer because I still feel kind of like an imposter, but at the end of the day, I think we're there now. I think when you have this many chickens, I've become a poultry farmer, if nothing else.
And I mean, the reality of it is, we get off work, we come home, if we're lucky, we get to eat dinner before the sun goes down. But we eat dinner, then we'll go take care of chores, and we'll have some videos coming up of our daily chores.
Yeah, really though, the biggest thing, we are very much still learning. I never want us to give off the impression that we know it all and we know what we're doing, because I most days go to bed thinking I don't have a clue what I'm doing. But we're learning as we go. We've really, again, gotten bitten by the bug, and our biggest goal at the end of the day is we're trying to provide this high quality food from a local source, from people that you can trust. And I hope that if we've done nothing else in the couple years we've been doing this, that we've built a good reputation, that we're trying our best. We're trying to do things the right way. We're trying to let the animals be the animals that they are. Joel Salatin's pigness of the pig.
Let the pigness of the pig.
And we saw him, and he even said the chickenness of the chicken at one point. So, we're trying to let these animals do what they're designed to do, with this ultimate goal of something called regenerative agriculture. So there are so many different ways to do the exact same things. We're just trying our own way. And so far, we're still loving it. We're diving in more and more. We're investing more and more. And again, at the end of the day, we're doing this because we love it, and because we really get that fulfillment from producing something tangible that you just can't get from your day job. I love my job, but this is a whole different layer of fulfillment, at least for me. The gardening in particular. For me, I know you really enjoy the animals. And we're raising our 2 heathen children at the same time.
It's a learning experience. We want to bring you guys along on this journey. I guess, do you have any other remarks?
Nope, not really. We, again, we're really enjoying it. We couldn't do it without your guys' support. We really do appreciate all of our customers, whether you're a regular or a first timer at the market, and know that any questions you have about our product, we can answer it, because we're the ones raising it. And I think that says a lot compared to the supermarket.
And if you ever want to nerd out on meat cuts, I got you.
Yes, he knows way more than he ever should.
But no, we love it. If you guys like the video, please leave a comment, like, share. We're trying to build this channel a little bit, just kind of take people along for journeys, because again, we get a lot of questions about from people that aren't exposed to this on a daily basis. And again, we don't know what we're doing.
Sometimes. Our generation, I'm 33 years old. Our generation is just not used to having its hands on their food. We think chicken comes in the shape of nuggets, and we don't even know there's more to beef than just a steak and hamburger. And so learning about where our food comes from, what sustainably sourced food really does look like, and knowing that it's very different than what you're getting from the supermarket. So we plan with this channel to kind of educate on both the food that we produce, but also just the food system in general. No conspiracy theories or anything like that, but just some eye-opening information that we should all know. And unfortunately, we just don't, because we don't ask those questions. So you'll see a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You'll see him tinkering and me gardening and maybe even some cooking kinds of things along the way. But a lot of it is just our lives. This is just our life. We are multifaceted people, and this will be a multifaceted channel. But we are so looking forward to putting our ideas in motion and sharing them with you all.